Yeah, well, thank you very much for that update. And I guess I'd like to have Alison, while she's here, speak a little bit more about the organization.
Sure.
Once again, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can you hear me online? The folks online?
Yes, we can hear you, Alison.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and just share a little bit of what I've learned in my first 5 months here at the YAA. I am just become very amazed by the sheer volume of work that comes out of this organization across all of our teams. And it's been just a real pleasure to get to know our team, and they have welcomed me with open minds and open hearts, and it's just been really rewarding so far. At the same time, our alumni, I was just saying to Josiah, the number of emails and connections has been really lovely, and I'm really excited. I'm trying to get to as many places and in front of as many groups as I possibly can. And in the process of doing that, I have started to shape some priorities for year 1 and 2. I don't feel ready at all to call anything a strategic plan, because I think a big part of what I'm doing now is going to be shaping, hopefully, a strategic plan in year 3. So I just wanted to share a couple things with this group about what we're thinking about in the YAA as priorities for the next 1 to 2 years, and where I'm going to be calling on many alums to help us with that work. So the first priority is what I'm calling campus connections. I think that the YAA does a really incredible job of connecting alums where they are and surrounding their interests. I want to bring that more full circle and integrate the YAA a little bit more into campus life and show places where alumni engagement can lift up the university's priorities at the same time. I think what we're seeing around the Yale Club today, climate, planetary solutions and climate change is such a huge priority for Yale to be a leader, and our alumni are engaging in this space and helping to advance that knowledge and lift up that intellectual property, which is, I think, incredibly important for how we can kind of share where alumni are doing great work on behalf of the university as well. The second and the kind of most important is what I'm calling alumni listening. For those of you who are alums in the room, you'll remember we did an all alumni survey in 2017. I myself find surveys useful, but they're not my favorite form of gathering information. I think there's a lot of bias. I think there's a lot of psychology around them. So I'm looking to implement a little bit more intentional and intimate listening opportunities for our alumni. I really want alumni to be leading the sessions, thinking about focus groups, thinking about really targeted, directed ways to be hearing from our different shared interest groups, our different regional clubs, our classes, and hearing about the ways that they want to be engaged with Yale and what they expect from the YAA in a post-pandemic world. So you will be hearing from me about how you can help, and I hope you will answer the call when the time comes. And the third priority that I'm really excited about and kind of fits in really nicely with today is student engagement. I think that we need to educate our students more about alumni engagement while they are captive on campus, so that we can shrink the time between graduation and when they step into their first meaningful volunteer role. So we are going to create essentially like a curriculum about where students can connect more with the YAA, where the YAA can be more present in student life, both in Yale College and in the GMP schools, and how and kind of create that in a way that we're moving, kind of moving that needle further, so that our pipeline of volunteers and connection happens really, really quickly. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's kind of the things I really wanted to share with the group, and I really appreciate you having me. Yeah.
So while we still work on this, the good thing is there are slides that do accommodate this particular presentation that Josiah does have. So worst case scenario, we can always send that out to everybody afterward. The video could also be sent afterward as well, worst case scenario, but I guess, depending on how well they can fix this problem, are you okay with potentially?
Yeah, I don't need the slides, but I am wondering, is Kristen showing the slides to people on Zoom?
Well,
or
the thing
not?
is, well, yeah, Kristen, are you able to show the slides to the other people?
Yes, I am able to do the slides on Zoom.
Okay, so, see if there's a way to be turning this the other way and.
Yeah, that'll
potentially-
have some sense. I'll go through the slides quickly, Kristen.
See,
Sounds
Please,
great.
They will be in sync. Thank you.
let's see here. Chris, just test out the slide, just to see.
Yes, one moment. I am making sure.
Yay. Okay. Again, sorry for the,
Could you turn it slightly? Thank you.
okay. And again, we'll be able to send that, to everybody.
Let's see.
Well, I guess the movie could be on here, but once again, the limitation is.
So shall I get underway, Andrew? Yes? I
Um,
wasn't sure.
I'll see, I would think.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you, Andrew, Kristen, YANA, for giving me the opportunity to speak. As was mentioned, my name is Josiah Brown. I'm Executive Director of Connecticut Court Appointed Special Advocates, or CASA. I'm grateful to those as well tuning in remotely. And I'll just provide an overview of what we're doing here at this startup, part of the national CASA movement for children in the child welfare system, and then lead into how Jeannot and I became acquainted and our shared interests in youth development and basketball as well. So Connecticut CASA, as the slide indicates, Kristen, if you can maybe skip to that introduction page. It's part of a national movement in virtually every state around the country, and volunteers serve nearly 300,000 children. These are either young people in foster care or at a prior stage known as protective supervision, where they remain with their families. And years ago, a judge in Seattle recognized that he was at a loss to determine the best interest for these children. So it was really valuable to have the input of volunteer advocates who could get to know the children and inform the decisions about where they should go in order to find a safe, permanent home. So there's a quotation there from Marian Wright Edelman, the founder of the Children's Defense Fund, lauding the role of CASA volunteers. And you can please skip to the next slide, Kristen. The next slide is an overview of the Connecticut picture. So in Connecticut, we just started up. I was hired 5 years ago. We had begun working in March of 2020 in the New Haven court. And then, of course, the pandemic interrupted and shut everything down. So we recalibrated, we adjusted our training to being online, and many of our court hearings are now virtual as well. And we've grown very significantly. As you'll see, we're now working in 7 of the 10 child protection courts in Connecticut, including 3 of the 4 largest, New Haven being one of them. The largest court happens to be in Bridgeport, and I'm doing a presentation with a volunteer on Monday to the court there. So the hope is before long, perhaps we'll be working in Bridgeport too. But we have our hands full, as you see, with the number of children under court protection statewide, over 7,000 of them. So already we're in court serving up to 2/3 of those 7,000 children. At any one time, about 3,000 in Connecticut are actually in foster care. The rest are still with their families, but under supervision by the Department of Children and Families and the juvenile court judges on the child protection side. So please advance the slides. Kristen, you can skip over the next one, which is just another view of that. And you can also skip over our mission and vision and purpose. The idea is really that every child can benefit from having a caring, consistent adult in their life. There are many dedicated professionals, social workers, attorneys, teachers, and certainly the judges themselves. But these professionals have heavy caseloads. Teachers have large class sizes. And there's really a value gain from having a child visited on a monthly basis by a caring, consistent adult. And then that adult can also identify resources and services from pre-K to summer school and after school programs. and also sometimes basic needs for the family, such as housing and healthcare. So it really varies from case to case. We work with children from birth to 18. But if you advance to the next slide, Kristen, you see more about what we ask, the commitment of a volunteer. You have to be prepared to serve 18 months or more in order to be someone who's really committed to the child and steady presence. And there's a lot of evidence that while it is not sufficient to have such an adult in a child's life, it really is necessary to develop resilience and overcome adversity, to have at least one really dependable adult in a child's life. That may be a family member, it may be a coach or a clergy member, but in some cases it's a CASA volunteer. So please, to the next slide, there's a little more about the commitment that we ask of volunteers. The training up front is about 30 hours. As I said, now that's online, so it's pretty convenient. And we have folks from across Connecticut, from their 20s to their 70s, involved as volunteers from all walks of life. So they're just wonderful people with good judgment, caring, and also they're zealous. You know, they're willing to advocate for a child, speak up to a judge. We say we are not a rubber stamp for the Department of Children and Families, though often our volunteers come to similar conclusions as the professional social workers, but there really is value in having an independent voice. And sometimes the children and their families are more inclined to trust a volunteer advocate rather than someone who's there, you know, understandably being paid. It's important people do get paid, but this is a kind of a catalytic role that the volunteers can play in partnership with the various professionals in a child's life. Okay, so please, to the next slide, Kristen. A little information about the track record nationally over time. You know, our organization has been around for some 4 decades. As I say, in virtually every state around the country, there are many partners, from fraternities and sororities to groups of judges and courts. And in general, children who have CASA volunteers are more likely to find safe, permanent homes, have greater academic and behavioral outcomes, and also have greater levels of hope, which is another key ingredient for resilience. So to the next slide, please. We have an example of one of our really outstanding volunteers, Dwayne Jackson. He was in our second cohort. He's been involved for 4 years and has served already 10 children across 5 cases. So he and I often do these presentations together, and you'd find on our YouTube channel various interviews and other material featuring him and several of our other volunteers. I'd like to advance to the next slide, because I believe in our Zoom audience, we have both of our ambassadors for Connecticut CASA, who happen to be former Yale student athletes, as Jeannot is currently, Mie Oni and Brandon Sherrod. So Brandon is now back at Yale as an assistant basketball coach. He was in the class of 2016. Mie was originally in the class of 2020. He left early to get drafted by the NBA, and then came back and completed his degree 2 years later. So he's now officially in the class of 2022. And they've been great in helping to raise awareness, particularly try to recruit more male volunteers to join us. And we look forward to their continued involvement. You can go to the next slide. You have, I think on the next slide, pictures of Mie and Brandon from our website, and also along with Dwayne, because the 3 of them did an event back in the height of the pandemic that was recorded via Zoom and on our YouTube channel, if you're interested in learning more, talking about why they wanted to support this cause. So we're grateful to them. The next slide has a little more information about articles and some of the media coverage we've received. And I should say that we've benefited greatly, not only in the case of the ambassadors, but in other respects from our connection to YANA and Yale. We have Yale alumni on our board, among our advisors, and among our volunteer advocates, as well as the ambassadors. So we also have close ties to UConn and some other institutions, but we're really grateful and look forward to more such engagement in the months and years ahead. And the next slide just has our social media channels. We encourage you to look us up. Certainly we benefit from not only volunteers, but also donations and spreading the word via social media. So I think I now should introduce Jeannot. Is that right, Andrew? So Jeannot and I became acquainted a little more than a year ago, just before he was starting his first year at Yale. I was assigned to be his advisor in Saybrook College, and he was an incoming student. And we met via Zoom, and then some weeks later, he arrived on campus, and we discovered not just the shared Saybrook connection, but also that he had a strong interest in developing a nonprofit coming out of his background that he'll tell you more about. And I hope you'll have a chance to see the video in terms of his youth in Goma, Congo, and how his academic development was really furthered by his involvement with basketball through the organization we'll tell you about. So he's now developing his own organization with the really key fiscal sponsorship of Dwight Hall. So I'm grateful to Dwight Hall for their support for Jeannot's work early on, and I'm really proud to be here next to him, and I look forward to hearing from Jeannot about what he's doing.
Thank you, Josiah. I'm Jeannot Basima, as Josiah mentioned. I'm currently a student athlete at Yale University. I'm from Goma, which is located in the east part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. As you probably all know from the news, Goma is it's mainly known for its problems such as war, armed conflict, and the massive presence of the United Nations troops. But I'm here to tell you that Goma is a beautiful place with amazing people and many associations that are trying to improve lives. In Congo, there is 7 million children who don't have access to school due to different reasons. And one of the main reasons is that public school is not free. And public school costs about $170 a year. And in Congo, many families tend to have 5 to 10 kids. And from some family, parents have to choose who to send home and who is gonna stay at home, which is the hardest thing to make as a parent. Promotion Basket is an association for basketball and education purpose for kids in Goma. Promotion Basket has a scholarship program for kids who respect the 4 values, which are discipline, hard work, team spirit, and respect. And I was one of those kids. And being part of the Promotion Basket allowed me to go to school my time in Goma.
Say it again. What's the name of it?
Promotion Basket is a French.
Promotion Basket.
Yeah, Promotion Basket. So in the summer of 2018, with the help of Daniel Arnold, who is my sponsor, and Promotion Basket, I was given an opportunity to pursue my dream. I was selected to participate in the summer basketball camp here in the US called Global Squads. This camp gives international student athletes an opportunity to play in front of high school and college coaches. At the end of the camp, I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to attend the New York Military Academy as an 8th grader. I left my family when I was 13 years old. I was excited, but at the same time, I was scared. Everything was kind of new to me. I couldn't speak English, and I was homesick, and I would say probably this was one of the toughest moments in my life. But I knew I was not doing this for me. A year later, I was recruited to attend the John Carroll High School in Maryland, my high school career. After I attended John Carroll, I had time to think about a world beyond basketball, because I was grateful for what God has provided me, a journey, an opportunity. And after I graduated from high school, I was able to go back for the first time since I left. It has been 5 years since I hadn't seen my family. And seeing them again, it was an emotional time, and also showing them my high school diploma was a proud moment for me. And I knew I wanted to make them proud. With the help of Promotion Baskets, I was able to organize the first Jeannot Basima basketball camp. 300 kids participated in the camp. I was blessed to hang out and spend some quality time with so many lovely, talented girls and boys who grew up very little like me. And this made me realize that I have a microphone for change. Being recruited at Yale was a life-changing, not just for me, but for my family and for my community back home as well. And my dream of playing college basketball in America is becoming true. And I'm getting a great education on top of that, which is a win. As I started my journey at Yale, Josiah was assigned to be my advisor. And as he mentioned over Zoom, we talked. And the first time I shared to him what I did, my time back home, and how I wanted to start a nonprofit to support basketball and youth development in Goma. With the help of Josiah, Dwight Hall at Yale was able to serve as a fiscal sponsor for the Jeannot Basima Foundation. Guys, our mission is to work with youth in Goma to develop academic, basketball, and leadership skills. It's such an honor to be here today to present to all of you the Jeannot Basima Foundation. Your support can make a real difference change by finding scholarship for children in Goma who need it most. Every donation helps us provide a chance to a kid in Congo just like me to reach their goals. Thank you. And I don't know if they'll be able to show the video over Zoom or here. I don't think it'll be possible, but there's like a 8-minute video of pretty much showing what I just told.
I'm able to play it if folks want to. Great. So, all right, we are going to get started right here.
King? Je peux entrer? Ça va?
Âgé de 13 ans, King vit seul avec sa mère et son frère dans un quartier sensible de Goma.
Bonjour madame. C'est important pour vous que King aille à l'école?
Ndiyo, ni lazima sana basi. Kinge anaishi tu na mimi mama, mimi hana baba. PGB ndio anakuwa sawa vile baba. Juu hana baba. Anaishi tu na mimi mzazi mwanamke. Sasa PGB ndio iko babake.
Toi qui es son grand frère, tu vois un changement?
Ça, je peux vous l'assurer parce que moi-même, je suis victime de ça. Il y a quelque chose vraiment qui a changé dans notre vie. Parce que ça, vous mentir, si PGB n'avait pas été dans notre vie, on ne peut pas savoir là où on pourrait être aujourd'hui. C'est grâce à PGB qu'on étudie aujourd'hui. Pour grandir dans ces quartiers, c'est pas facile. Et si on n'a pas le temps de faire tout ça, parce que la plupart du temps, on est soit au terrain de basketball, soit à l'école. Et toi-même, tu te dis, bon, je pourrais avoir une vie professionnelle avec PGB.
On sait que l'école est payante ici en RDC. Il n'y a pas beaucoup d'enfants qui vont à l'école.
Un enfant à l'école primaire, il peut payer à peu près $170. Et par là, tu vas voir, les parents ont tendance à prendre certains enfants et à laisser les autres à la maison.
Les études, c'est vraiment très dur. On peut dire, en fait, nous tous, on rêve d'aller à l'école.
Concrètement, si tu n'avais pas eu la bourse de PGB, tu aurais pu aller à l'école?
Je ne crois pas vraiment.
Tous les enfants qui sont là, qui ne vont pas à l'école, ils vous considèrent comme des privilégiés. Ils vous disent quoi? Ils vous disent, vous avez de la chance d'aller à l'école?
Bon, en fait, ils nous disent ça parce que toute personne peut aimer et toute personne peut envier d'aller toujours à l'école.
C'est presque une limite, là on voit tous les enfants qui sont à côté de nous, qui ne peuvent pas aller à l'école malheureusement, et toi qui peux y aller, c'est ce qui te pousse toi à travailler dur à l'école aussi?
Oui, ça nous pousse vraiment à travailler dur. On bosse aussi les études au sérieux. Parce qu'on a eu cette grâce ainsi que cette chance et on ne peut pas la gaspiller en fait, c'est ça.
À 2 heures de là, Jeannot prend ses marques dans sa nouvelle école, la New York Military Academy, établissement où la discipline est de rigueur.
Là, je dépends de moi-même. Au début, c'était pas facile. Je me sentais, des fois je voulais même pleurer quand j'ai plus ma famille ici, quoi. Mais comme ça déjà ça va, je m'habitue déjà et j'aime le milieu déjà.
We're not yelling or cursing at anybody. What we're doing is we're establishing military structure into their life and giving them the discipline they need to go on to college or a job and be self-sufficient and not have to rely on somebody else to live after school.
Pour s'intégrer à PJB, il faut d'abord savoir ces 4 valeurs qui sont la discipline, l'esprit d'équipe, le travail et le respect. Ces valeurs vraiment sont respectées ici vraiment. Et parce que moi je les ai appris avant, c'est déjà un avantage pour moi.
Kids are very influential at this age. So if they're around kids that are messing around, they're going to mess around as well. But if they're around kids that are being kind to others, they also in turn will be kind to others. And that's what happens when kids are around Basima.
Fine line there between them, right? Jeannot is the kind of student that any dean of academics would want to have at their academy. Eager to learn, even-tempered, intrinsically motivated. It really comes from within. He doesn't really need monitoring in that way, and I've just received his grades today, so I'm thrilled with him that he's actually on the high honor roll.
Are you impressed?
Oh, totally, yeah. Because it doesn't always have to end up this way. Of course I am, yeah. He's just really, he's very respectable. Really, he's, I would say he's making his country very proud.
Est-ce que tu es, pour toi, gamin de Goma, gamin de PJB, en train de vivre un rêve?
Ouais, ça c'est un rêve vraiment. Ouais, je peux dire que c'est pas tout le monde qui peut avoir cette chance, mais c'est pas dire que je suis spécial d'autres jeunes, mais je peux dire que c'est Dieu qui l'a voulu, quoi. Donc c'était le destin, quoi. C'est un peu ça. Ouais.
Qu'est-ce qui te pousse à être à ce point travailleur et impliqué?
Ouais, ce qui me pousse, je peux dire que d'abord, premièrement, je vois là où je viens. Et je compare les deux milieux, je me dis que ici, je suis l'ambassadeur de mon pays, je suis l'ambassadeur de ma famille, de PJB, tout. Alors, si je montre donc une mauvaise image ici, tout va booster donc. Et les autres aussi n'auront pas cette chance que j'ai eue. Mais aussi, ce qui me pousse encore de plus, c'est j'ai envie aussi d'aider les autres, quoi. Si une fois je travaille dur ici, on va me demander, tu viens d'où? Je dis, je viens du Congo, précisément à Goma. On va dire que donc là aussi, il y a d'autres jeunes qui peuvent aussi venir nous aider ici, ça. Donc, je suis une source de... Je peux dire que si je continue à travailler, je serai une source de bénédiction pour les autres.
Tu peux nous rappeler ton âge?
J'ai 14 ans, là.
C'est un truc de malade de déjà penser comme ça à 14 ans. En tout cas, bravo, chapeau bas. J'en ai pas, tu vois, mais chapeau bas.
Moi, j'en ai.
It was a pleasure for me to come back here and see how like everybody just still playing basketball and how like the game never changed. People still hungry and people still enjoy the game and stuff. And just kind of pushed me to come back and just spend time with my friends, old teammates, sister, little brothers and stuff. So for me, this is pretty big because I know how this is big for others. So that's why I kind of did it, to just launch my own camp in here, my first camp this year in Goma. Because I was in their shoes, I know like why this time was meant to them and stuff, and just spend time with someone who has like another perspective of the basketball world and stuff. So for me, I play in the US, and next year I'll be going to Yale University and stuff. So with that, like basketball, I don't know if I'll be there. So that's why I keep telling them, like, you just keep dreaming big, and stay in school, have good grades, and just stay hungry all the time and go get what you want. That's it.
Back over to you, team.
That was a great video, but it's also a testament to the type of work you're doing. I thank both of you for coming here. Have any questions for Steve?
I have a question for you. If I took you to the hoop, do you think you could stop me?
Thanks, but I think you speak at it.
So I have a question. You know, it was awesome to hear your story. Someone else who also loves basketball. I was gonna ask, so you were in the New York Military Academy high school, and then I saw in the video you went back to the Congo, you went in camp. What was the time frame like? Was that in between the graduation of your high school and before Yale? Did you take a gap year? How did that work? And what was it like building up the first stages of that program?
Yeah, so I went to the New York Military Academy School as an 8th grader. So at the New York Military Academy School is like high school and middle school combined at the same time. So I was in the basketball team there as an 8th grader in the varsity team. So I spent it 1 year, and then after that, I transferred to John Carroll High School in Maryland. That's where I spent my whole 4 years as a high school. And then after I graduated from John Carroll, that's why I was able to go back home for the first time. And that's why I just kind of like, I wanted to like something like just being home. Obviously, it was a great time to be home with my family, all that, but also I wanted to do something that like went back to others, like with myself.
Who did you live with when you were going to high school?
So at the New York Military Academy, I stayed on campus. I don't care as well for 3 years. I stayed on campus, and then my senior
Like a dormitory?
Yeah, dormitory, yeah.
So there was a person
Yeah.
running the dormitory?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of kids from all over the world? Or?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, because obviously the New York Military Academy School, so they had like international kids from like all over the world, like China, Africa, kids in Africa.
They're all playing basketball.
Yeah, we all playing basketball, and other kids were there for other purposes as well, like studying for that. And then I don't care, my senior year, I was able to stay with the host family, which I'm still in touch to today, so, yeah. Yeah.
What's next for your foundation? Like, do you plan to do another camp? Do you plan to partner with another organization?
My main goal right now is to get another like camp this upcoming summer, as many funds that I can get to get that going, and also to I can raise as many funds as I can for scholarship for kids who like obviously respect, because I'll be partnered with Promotion Basket, which is my academy, and I'm one of the members now on the board of Promotion Basket, which is good. And yes, it's just that. Also, I got long-term goals as well. Like after like getting kids the scholarship, because I was one of those kids too. So like I was getting a scholarship. Obviously, it was a great opportunity for me and for my family. Also, like it was after school, I didn't have any help with homework or stuff like that. So like in years coming up, I was thinking about maybe building like a after school program in Goma. Who can take care of the kids who got the scholarship there, just go there, can do their homework and their system. So, yeah.
If you go to dwighthall.org/JBF, you will come to the Jeannot Basima Foundation. There's a webpage there on the Dwight Hall site and another short video information where you can find out how to help.
You say that again? Dwight Hall what?
dwighthall.org/JBF.
Any other questions? Kristen, any other questions from the internet audience?
Is it even possible to contemplate like educating some of the kids to go back and be teachers to like your brothers and sisters, kids like that, and help them, help more kids get educated?
Should we
Like in your Goma, yeah.
12 kids from here to go there or
Something like that, to get more kids here that are gonna, with the purpose of going back to your town.
Yeah, that's
Like, is it still the same way when you grew up? Is it still the same there? That is no opportunities to go to school?
yeah, it's still the same way, yeah, until now.
So there's no advancement in the country.
They're not advancing, yeah, obviously like they constantly see on the news saying that like public school it's free. They tried that for a year, but that system did not work because teacher was not getting paid and all that, and so like private school still like costing money. But also as well, like for me, like I was thinking about this summer, probably Sherrod is one of my coaches. He's over Zoom right now, but he wanted to come to Congo this summer and to just share his experience here as like a coach and obviously one of the finest in Connecticut. So, and also I'm trying to get a couple of my teammates to come with me this summer so they can share their experience as well and just exchange kind of, yeah.
So like American teammates?
Pretty much, yeah, in the Yale basketball team, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, good ideas.
Yeah.
Great, great.
Any other questions?
Question. Sure. Josiah, I'm wondering, especially since Alison's here and you've got the YA connection, you need presumably always a pipeline of volunteers if there's a way to connect either through our class or through Whitehall or however we might get more alumni involved, whether CASA in Connecticut or some of the other state organizations. I wonder if there's a way to do that.
I would welcome that. Yeah, already YANA has steered a board member to us, and we have several Yale alums, as I mentioned, both board members, advisors, ambassadors, volunteers, but we could always use more in Connecticut as well as throughout the CASA network. So very much so. I would encourage that. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Yes. Okay, but the thing I would like to say, and the thing that touched my heart about the whole thing is the fact that, sort of piggybacking what you were talking about before, one of the things that's great about YANA, generally speaking, we try to convene and connect people and catalyze, and this is what it's all about. And the thing I like about the fact about you, Jeannot, is the fact that you're a student, you're starting off in the beginning and you're giving back already. And that's what the whole pipeline with Whitehall is all about. You know, trying to get students that are interested in the nonprofit sector to try to start early in their careers. How can they get involved? Then once they graduate, as you reached out, being a freshman conference person like that, it's like, you know, you're getting people involved, you're inspiring them. Once you come from where you are now, how do you get involved in other nonprofit boards? How do you get involved in other nonprofit situations? So the pipeline that you're talking about is the kind of thing that we're all trying to form, really. Different ways of trying to become involved. You have the day of service, right? That people can get involved in. You have the YASC, we try to get people involved, you know, sort of a short time frame basis. And then you have people that are part of the nonprofit world, which is YANA. So as you think about your networks yourselves, what kind of time frames do you have? What kind of, you know, is a time, talent, and treasure? How can that be extended in different capacities? And, you know, it doesn't have to be solved overnight, obviously, but there are a lot of ways of reaching out. So as you're thinking about this and thinking about more opportunities, bring more people into the fold, because that's how we actually make a bigger difference. And along those lines, if there are no more questions, downstairs on the second floor, we're gonna be able to convene with everybody to talk a little bit more about this. So if you have nonprofit organizations and things like that you'd like to talk about, if there are opportunities, maybe you're looking for board members, you may be looking for outreach, it's a great time to discuss that. That's gonna be on the second floor. And any other questions or anything else like that?
I have a question.
Sure.
Another question for you. How many African students are there at Yale? Do you know the number?
I don't know exactly the number, but there's definitely a couple people there.
Just a couple. As you walk around, do you hear like some accents and see guys that you know they're African?
Yeah, probably in my class, I'm pretty sure there's probably like over 100 in my class, the 7, because we had a first year like orientation, and we did the international student orientation, and I would go for all the African kids in my orientation class.
And do you ever get to, have you ever, I would guess you have not, I'm just saying right now, have you ever gotten together, or pull, you know, like you pull them all together? And had a meeting?
That haven't happened yet, but something that we want to do.
I know there is an organization called Students of the Diaspora, because BA actually, when he was a student, he was part of that. His parents are originally of Nigerian descent, and he was active in that. I assume that organization still exists. I know another of my advisees, Ephraim, happens to be from Ghana.
It seems like that's a good thing, would be a good thing to do. Yeah, place you to start. You know, to gather your own little club.
Any other comments? Kristen, any final words from you?
Just want to say thank you so much to Jeannot and Josiah for being here with us today in those really engaging presentations. And thank you to our special guests, Alison, Henry, Sam, for your support on the tech, and Andrew for guest hosting with us tonight. I encourage everyone to continue the conversation downstairs. And I hope to see you in person at the conference next month.
Okay, once again, the conference is the 25th of October. That's going to be a Friday, 9 to 5 the whole day. If you can't stay for the whole day, we do have a luncheon. It's 12:30 to 2:30. We definitely invite everybody to participate.
Where is that?
It's going to be here at the Yale Club. Okay. The right location.
How many days again?
It's the 25th. That's going to be Friday, October 25th.
Lunch.
Well, there's a luncheon component, but then they have a whole day conference, social impact conference.
So just to confirm, the best way to